I'm the type of guy that
Jesus.
go around.
This is like my least favorite period of pop music ever. Is like the WAP thing.
That early
I actually
60s
went.
thing?
I
I
actually went
really,
and
I
looked.
really felt that, John, when you saw Bob Dylan at the end.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually went and looked at the Billboard Top 100 for 1963, and it's just like trash, 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 trash. Keep scrolling. Trash, trash, trash. Oh, that's a good song. Beach Boys. There you go.
Well,
Trash,
Beach
trash,
Boys,
trash, trash, trash.
yeah. Well,
Trash,
that's
trash.
this,
Bob
this is
Dylan, there's one.
this is
Trash, trash,
literally
trash,
months
trash.
before the
No,
Beatles
Bob
came
Dylan did
along.
not. Bob Dylan did not. No, most of
He
those
didn't. He
He
didn't
songs.
was like
chart
playing
yet.
a coffee house at that
Yeah,
point.
this is not.
Most of those songs that people think of from this era that are like great never got on the Billboard charts because they were all FM radio and
Yeah.
it was still
And it was
AM that
still
was
like doo-wop and shit.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It like the first Grateful Dead song to ever hit the charts was Touch of Grey, which came out in like 1989.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one of the things about this in terms of music is that there's when the Wanderers are driving around and they're harmonizing, they're doing like doo-wop. That was
That I liked.
the thing is the part of being in the Bronx as a kid at that time was
Well, the one guy
doo-wop
could
was
sing.
one of those things you did with your friends. You hung out in the street corners
Yeah.
and you sang doo-wop. And it was like you take the
Right.
low part and the harmony and like that. And so
Because you could
that
do
was
it a cappella.
yeah,
You
you
could
could do a
just
cappella and
stand
just
there and
hang
do
out,
it.
and the girls loved it, and so it was just another way of being like, a cool guy.
The,
So
the,
that's
the
kind of nice.
soundtrack was annoying as hell, but I'll tell you, that scene where they're all singing spontaneously, they start singing and one of them's hitting the dashboard.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
they're looking for what's her name? Ella? Nina. Karen
Nina,
Allen.
yeah.
They're looking for Karen Allen.
They're
And guess
cruising
what
for
they-
a
and-
bruising is what
And of
happened.
course, they end up in Ducky Boy territory.
I have endless problems with this movie, but that little moment right there where it was just their faces and they were singing,
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't worrying about how choppy and nonsensical the story was. It was just a nice moment. It was their faces, all the actors dressed up like,
You weren't thinking
greasers.
about how unlikable every single character and face was.
Yeah, it was just a little magical moment, and it ended, of course, like everything. It was like they drove for 2 minutes, and all of a sudden they were in a completely unfamiliar neighborhood. They got scared, and for some reason it was night
dimension.
Oh no!
when-
And it was foggy.
and foggy.
Yeah.
When
And
Yeah.
there were these
literally,
weird
Somehow
little
when you turn a
zombie
corner,
guys
it turns
wearing
night.
neutral colors wandering around. You notice all the Ducky Boys had receding hairlines.
yeah,
I mean, the thing is, like, part
Not
of that.
this fucker.
I know
Not that
part
guy.
of this, like, it's the Ducky Boys. I think is like Phil Kaufman. stretching
These guys
out-
might have had receding hairlines.
Yeah, well, they have very receding hairlines. They have fully receding hairlines. But part of it's like that we step into the mystic once in a while into this film, and the Ducky
Oh, yeah.
Boys are a supernatural force. It
Well,
was- and it's like-
absolutely.
the
This
music
is
gets that
the-
little piano tinkle tinkle,
So
and it's
here's-
like, oh my god, it's great.
This is the
So
weirdest
here's
nothing
fucking
the knock
movie.
on, the
physically.
knock on this movie. The knock on this movie is that the book that Phil Kaufman took what apparently was a fairly well regarded book and maybe threw a little too much style at it. I'm like John. I got endless problems with this movie, and it's really interesting to think that this is the thing he made in between Body Snatchers, which is fucking awesome,
Yeah.
and The Right Stuff, which is even more fucking awesome.
Right?
Like he knows what he's doing. Like
Uh-huh.
he's no schmuck.
He-
Like who just picked up a camera for the first time. Everything he shows. There are moments in this movie that are genuinely like when Ken Wall realizes, oh fuck, I've just like ended up like now I gotta basically be in the mafia for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
Like
they
there's-
give him
there's-
the
there
shirt.
are lots
Don't
of
worry,
really-
you'll grow into it.
had the director been more disciplined and less trying to make something completely fucking over the top, like this movie does over and over and over again. Like there's a really good story at the heart of this thing, but it is just covered in these weird swings in tone.
Well,
Yeah, and also-
Weird stylistic choices, and it's so disjointed.
Very weird
storytelling.
casting, very disjointed.
now, mind
I
you,
feel like
but Kaufman is
Just
he's not a
fucking-
real auteur or a fake auteur, take your pick. But he always tries to put touches into all of his films. The Right Stuff is just as weird as this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that
Yeah,
works.
and so it's
that
like
all works.
Yeah, and well,
But,
it works
like,
because he
I-
has a bigger budget and 3 hours to say it. But
I watched The Warriors first, and then I watched this. I'd seen The Warriors a few times, of course. I'd never seen this. I feel like immediately I was like, okay, Philip Kaufman is technically a more like competent filmmaker than Walter Hill in
more
in
adventurous
terms
in
of
some
like
ways.
he understands it more,
Yeah.
but yet he made a much worse movie.
Yes.
Like I don't know how to describe it. Like
he fell in love with his own writing.
and
Him and his
like
wife.
this
Yeah.
fucking movie. This is the weird of all the movies we watched on this. This is like the most unintentional fucking weird movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's strange.
I haven't seen this since I saw this opening weekend in the theater.
Right.
And I don't think I've seen it
Same here.
since, but I remember
No,
many
actually, if you saw it in the theater, you were alone. This film, when it opened, made $14,000.
This
It got its reputation
I
being
lived in
shown on.
Hollywood. It was packed. It was in
Yeah,
Hollywood.
it got its reputation on cable, basically. And it's still classic.
But I remember that Linda Mance going, Terry, you just joined the fucking Marines. Like, I remembered so many scenes that were just sort of burned into my. But it's what I'd forgotten was the connective tissue of weird.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's always going to be there, you know.
I was so surprised when that little girl was with the big bald guy because I thought she was a lesbian. I mean, you know, I was just like, she's like a boy. Like
Just assumed.
No,
she's just a tomboy. She's not a lesbian.
Well, it also her heart's broken because they all joined the Marines, and it was kind of neat where they kind of like brought her in and hung out together, you know, because they realized they're going to be spending the rest of their lives in this neighborhood, and there was kind of a sadness to the whole thing, which is not unlike American Graffiti, which was bittersweet.
This movie's sort of desperately trying to do a version of.
Oh, it is. This is a type of American Graffiti. Although I could say
the East Coast version.
Somebody touched on the fact that none of these characters are terribly likable, and that might be the central problem.
And it's so aggressive, whereas American Graffiti is very passive.
Oh, but yeah, American Graffiti
American Graffiti things are just that's like the first Dazed and Confused. You know what I mean?
But
they're just going with the flow.
Yeah, sure. But watch it.
Everyone is like everyone
mess.
has a fucking agenda. They're all really mean. They're all really hard. They're all really like. This movie is so sexual, but it's so gross. I don't know how to describe this.
You know, it's like 50s teenager stuff.
So Jared, the pervert art movie, thinks this movie is the weirdest thing we've ever seen, and it's gross.
Dude, you don't even. These people don't need to use lube because one of the guys just puts his hand in his hair and then he like moves his hand around and he's got fucking lube right there.
Yeah.
And there's that one.
A little bit of digging. You know who was in the Ducky Boys for real?
Yeah,
apparently Ace Frehley.
Ace Frehley, yeah. Well, Ducky Boys was a legit Italian street gang in the Bronx.
Most of these are real gangs.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
But they
just didn't exist. A lot of them didn't exist at the same time.
Yeah,
but most of them are based on real gangs.
Yeah, but this was like a very highly fictionalized and again semi-supernatural version of the gang.
Stylized, I would say.
But like I said, going on to the characters, it's like Joey, a kind of a protagonist. That poor guy is just like angry at everything because his life's so fucked up, and the other guys are kind of ciphers. Ken Wall is just an asshole. I mean, Richie, betrays in all 9 yards. Yeah, there's a lot of the scene.
I'm sorry, I just want to bring it up. How about the scene where it's like, what if we just listed all the racial slurs we know?
The teacher.
And I thought the teacher had a point to make, and basically he just started a riot.
Did not. Right.
No.
There's no point.
He let it go too far. He let it go too far.
Where you want to fight.
Yeah, he lost that room.
Yeah.
Also,
he lost the hell out of that room.
He lost the room.
It's an interesting casting choice to have everyone be unattractive in your movie too, which is really like.
It's also
you're taking a chance,
It's also an interesting casting choice to have 40-year-olds pretending to be teenagers.
Which one? Hang on.
Well, okay,
come on.
That does happen all the time, but usually they're at least 30. Only 20, 25.
I know some of these people.
This is like Grease, dude.
Your whole life's ahead of you. Well, not really.
No, this is definitely not Grease.
the big guy,
Perry Jude or whatever.
Leave the kid alone. That guy, right?
Yeah, he's 5 years younger than everyone else in this film.
Wow.
Well, he kind of does have the babier face.
They're talking about Perry.
Perry, yeah. From
not the big baldy.
No, from Trenton, fucking New Jersey, as he refers
the
to
wanderer guy who joins.
The guy who ends off going on a road trip.
The guy that defends them in the beginning.
Oh, the big guy.
The guy who sleeps next to Joey, and then they end up going on a road trip to San Francisco together.
He gets a broken arm.
Do you think
they
that
lived
was
in the Castro today?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Thank you, because I wasn't sure if it was just a coincidence or you saying something in that.
Also, can I just
wait,
point
what was
out,
the question?
Is there really a sign that tells you how far it is to San Francisco on the Jersey Turnpike?
I don't think so.
There used to be a sign to the Bay Bridge tells you how far it was to get to New York.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
it was real.
And there's one in LA. It tells you how long to get to Savannah, Georgia. So it does happen.
Okay.
All right.
I think that I think that kind of thing existed a little bit more actually in this time period because it was more like the government flexing, like
Yeah.
look at what we've done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the interstate system just came into being in 1955,
right.
and like jump,
Could be real.
Get here, this
Thank
thing, you
you-
can drive
thank you
to San
to the
Francisco.
Nazis.
It's like, exactly, but yeah,
That and the Bob Dylan scene were the two like years coming scenes that were kind of poignant in a way.
Yeah, like
I, like
yes.
the Bob,
movie.
I remember the Bob Dylan scene. I still like the Bob Dylan scene.
Like,
Especially
Me too.
The Bob
I'm
Dylan
jump-
scene follows the scene where he basically finds out that
he's going to
you
be
know,
in that life
this
forever.
is gonna be he's gonna be wearing one of these fucking
Yeah.
Hawaiian shirts.
And he's going to be a dad. His whole life is over, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
Over.
yeah.
Like
and it's so kind of symbolically beautiful that he can't even go into he's following Nina, and he can't even go in the door.
no.
He stands
In
at
fact,
the glass.
but also that sequence, you put it together. She's chasing her, and she's getting further and further away.
Yeah.
That's more of that weirdness. That's
Yeah,
Kaufman,
I don't think
it's
that's
like she-
I don't think that's-
symbolism.
I don't think that's necessarily weirdness or symbolism, but
Uh-huh.
I do think it is him realizing what he's losing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
And-
like and actually I'm sorry, he's realizing what he's lost.
right.
Yeah.
that
It's
was
over.
actually my favorite moment in the movie because you really felt, none of us, well, I wasn't alive. None of us were like, adult. Like when this time was happening,
There was an infant.
I always forget about how close it is to like the late 50s, early 60s when, and then of course you get all through the 60s, so much change in America.
Yeah.
But to hear, and of course they literally like, it's like an anvil over your head. He's singing, times are changing, but, which is still a good song, but come on, it's a little on the nose. But you
It's a
get
lot on the nose.
yeah,
a
it's
little
lot
on the nose in this movie that lives on your
on the
nose.
nose. It's true. But I did like that scene the best because I felt, oh yeah, maybe
the
Bob
red
Dylan
nose,
was
maybe.
sort of like a nail, one of the nails in the coffins of the 50s, like the doo-wop bullshit and all the
Yeah,
the
absolutely, absolutely was.
yeah.
Totally.
like the start of counterculture,
Yeah.
and cool indie folk, like
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
It's also the tone of this film
Because
changed
what we
after.
think of as the 60s didn't
The
start
60s
in
started-
1960.
yeah.
The 60
No, it
1960
started in
was like the
63.
50s.
Yeah, yeah, but also
Right, Jim,
JFK's
yeah.
assassination
Started with,
changed the tone of the film
Kennedy's
entirely.
assassination.
You know
It was
right, which
what's
another
is in the
about-
movie.
Yeah.
This movie takes place in 63. It was made in 78. This would be like us watching a movie about the good old days of 2010.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
Well, they've kind
And
of
there's plenty
done
of
that.
people out there. There's plenty of people out there who believe that Tony 10 was the good old days. So
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Well, I mean, compared to now,
yeah,
it
it sure as
was
fuck
better.
was.
I don't know.
Anything
I put
before
this in the-
COVID was kind of
Actually, that was the year I almost lost our house. So it's like, okay, I don't. Maybe I,
I put this in the extreme. I don't know. At the end of the day, I put this in the extremely interesting but total misfire box.
Yeah.
Like I didn't mind sitting through it, and it's bonkers. But I was also weirdly like that worked. That
I'll
worked.
tell you
Oh,
this.
boy, that
Well,
did
I'll tell
not
you this.
work. Like
Overall,
the roller coaster ride of worked is fucking disaster. Then the next scene works, and the next scene's a disaster.
Yeah.
overall, though,
Yeah.
the story does have an arc. I mean, when the boys
Oh,
are
sure,
saying,
it's in
when
there.
the boys are saying goodbye to him, and they get in the car and they drive up. You're like, oh, this has been building up to this. It's not
Yeah.
completely inept.
Yeah.
But
It gets
damn it,
better
this is
as it
just a
gets-
weird fucking movie where.
And the
The first
football
hour.
game, which strangely was one of the better scenes until
But then it becomes
the
a fucking brawl.
until the Ducky Boys showed up, and there was about 1,000 of them.
This,
Yeah.
this.
Yes,
the
that.
hell.
Okay.
And the first time,
It's
so funny.
surrealistic.
The first
No,
time
let
I
me-
saw
let
the
me-
dad in a white beater, I was like, he's so fucking buff. Have him defend your gang. And then he
He
does.
did, yeah. Mind you, okay, this scene behind Chris, when all of a sudden Ducky Boys show up one by one till there's a million of them, right?
Yeah.
If you were going to interpret this like a film school thing, what did the Ducky Boys represent in this?
Well,
Answer
obviously, the
big
Ducky Boys are the instrument that gets people to not be prejudiced anymore. To
Yeah,
like, so they can all
he
come
makes
together.
the neighborhood come
So
together. But
it's like
also,
a
I think
common
that they're-
enemy.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, yeah.
they're a force of chaos. They're like they're showing what is
Sure.
out beyond the line.
Well, what they did was they made so at the guy's engagement party, he lets the
Oh, yeah. At the
Asian
end of the
guys
film-
and the black guys hang out. He's like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
please hang out. So now it's
At the end of the
kind of
film, the
squashed
games don't
racism
matter
for them.
anymore. Yeah, you're right. There's a
I think
Yeah.
I think what it actually represents is I think it represents this generation that's caught between the sort of classical era, golden era of America
50s
and
conformism.
and modernity.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this is this force
yeah.
that's coming through,
Yeah.
and it's like you're on one side of this divide or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I think that's part of it. I think it can be both
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, the Ducky Boys are a force of
that.
inevitability that's going to make force everyone to change.
Speaking of a force of inevitability, there's a thing that happens in that scene that I think is fascinating from a filmmaking point of view, which is at certain points it just breaks out into a kung fu movie.
Yeah.
When they show the Wongs, it is.
Yeah.
Well, they actually play the gong. I mean, that's embarrassing, but
Right. But I'm just
they did
by
that
the way,
16 Candles too.
the Wongs are the most interesting gang in this film, and I wish the entire film had been about the Wongs.
Oh, that'd be great. Go fuck with the Wongs.
Because they're all like calm and collected. Like
who are nearly as mystical as the Ducky Boys. Don't fuck with the Wongs. Hear from the distance.
Yeah.
But
and then it turns out that the thing the guy said at the beginning is true. They can all kick your ass because they just beat the shit out of everyone
because they know kung fu. Nobody else knows kung fu in America in 1960 or
which they call jujitsu.
Right.
In the
Do they call it that in the movie?
Well, Bruce Lee was over here teaching some people.
These guys know jujitsu. It's like I thought the Wongs were Chinese.
Well, it's it's a very odd.
Well, that's what just dumb Americans called it all, Joe. They
I
didn't know the
think
difference between.
I've always loved this film. I've seen it many, many times. And the thing is, I think this conversation's brought me to the fact that, one of this film's problems, and it has problems, is that the characters aren't likable. And they're all going in different paths during most of the film. And so it's kind of like, there's no unifying force in it.
They're not charming. They're not
charming.
sympathetic.
They're not nice to each other.
Listen,
Karen Allen.
I liked Karen Allen too.
Racist asshole.
Karen Allen was a bright spot in this.
But even Karen Allen was playing Joey.
She's so good.
She's so cute. I've never seen her this young, and she was so fun. Even during the strip poker scene.
This is the same year as Animal House.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Animal House.
Animal House a year earlier.
Okay.
But I hate Animal House too. Anyway,
I'll never.
but I mean, her love interest meets her by copping a feel on the street and then stalks her after she drives away. It's like,
but then also pairs her with his buddy and then takes her away from him.
And then takes her away.
And that's I've seen
when he pushed him towards her, I'm like, what is he doing? He likes her.
That's a fucked up bully thing to do. It's like, why she likes you, you hang out, and so he just gets a chance to hover around and get fighting for his moment. It's like it's fucked up. As I said, the thing about the film you guys exposed is that people do some unfortunate shit.
Yeah, Richie's an asshole, and he's the main character.
They're all assholes. They're all literally.
I might have noticed that more.
Brown's husband is an asshole who shaves his head.
Yeah,
I might have noticed that flaw more, Scott, if I hadn't been just fixating on the stylistic choices, the weirdness, and the I mean, physically and like logically, there's so many scenes in this movie that just don't make any fucking sense. Like, what's his name? Turkey, the one that falls off the bridge after all the gangs are chasing him.
No, after the Ducky Boys are chasing him. Again, he fell outside the light into Ducky territory, and he paid the price for that.
And that scene,
that whole scene is just, and they're popping out of windows and doors, and it was like a.
But that's
like Fantasia suddenly.
But that's the best. That's the thing. It shows their power. I love in the first time they saw the Ducky Boys. There's that one shot, that woman looking at the window with the uplighting.
Yeah,
I was like,
maybe if somebody had broken into song, I would have accepted it. But instead, I was just like, "What?"
Yeah, suddenly it was like West Side Story on crack.
And also, just before the Ducky
it was
Boys
like West Side Story without songs.
They were all packed into church, and they're like getting communion, and like it's like bizarre.
Yeah, not with their families, just all the gang members are sitting together.
They had a special gang mask
because they gotta eat the body of Christ before they take the body of someone else, dude.
Gang masses. I don't know if gang masses are.
I was never bored.
No, I wasn't bored either.
I don't know if gang masses are.
I wasn't bored. I was just like cringing the whole time. Like, what is this movie doing to me?
I don't know. I don't know if gang masses are still a thing, but for a long time in various different places, not just in the U.S. but around the world, the churches will have separate masses for gang members. Sometimes all the members from one gang or all the gangs come together in one place.
So they won't fight, basically.
That's a real thing.
It's like Highlander. It's like the church is sacred ground, no fighting.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of them are Christians, and a lot of them have deep faith in this stuff. So the especially if you're Catholic, you're trying to minister to these people people.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a time where everyone can come and they can do their worship, and then you leave and you don't bother the normal parishioners to actually put money in the plate.
You know what, Tad? If that's the case and that's what was going on in that
I would
scene,
believe that.
it would have been really helpful to have a little bit of setup for that, so I would have understood what was going on instead of just.
Why do you
This
feel you
movie
need to
doesn't have-
understand
this
these
movie doesn't
things?
have
I don't
setup
understand
for
that.
anything.
No, it does not.
Nothing.
No.
You're right.
You don't need to
It
understand.
just throws
The biggest-
images at you.
The biggest problem with this movie is that it does not have a coherent story.
Yeah.
It is a series of unrelated anecdotes that all got crammed together into a film, and somebody went, "Here, watch this for an hour and 50 minutes."
You're describing
But also,
American Graffiti as well. That's a
But
bunch
also
of
I've
but I
seen-
also don't like American Graffiti.
There's no coherent storyline on either. It's a bunch
But
of
I've seen-
stories.
There's so many movies with like flawed, protagonists, like very, 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 very messed up people who are, but like that you're still rooting for them. You
Right.
know, like
Jared's
there's something
making an
about.
argument that I have made so many times on this show. I just want to point this out.
Okay, well then I think it applies here, which is. Why do we love, like Paul Giamatti in Sideways? You still love him even though he steals from his mom,
Right, yeah,
He
yeah.
like lies. He gets drunk, he calls his ex. Like these people, I just hated every single person in this movie. And I've
It's
seen
because
so many
they're-
movies
it's-
where people are pieces of shit and I love them.
Now,
It's
okay,
because they're greasers, and no one has ever liked greasers.
yeah, it's just so. I bet you it's out of the book. It just says these guys fight with each other, and that's kind of it's a coming of age story. So no one's acting very mature.
Is there greasers in a movie that have been
Now, mind you,
cool?
I wanted to make a
like,
contrast.
No.
No,
Phil
they're
Kaufman-
always the bad guys.
Have you ever been to a fucking rockabilly show? Like, have you ever met a cool greaser? No, no one's ever met a cool greaser.
No. Anyway, Phil Kaufman went on to do the right stuff, and the difference between this and the right stuff was a ton of difference. Is that even though that's
And
just
The Right
as weird,
Stuff's one
Well,
of the
that's
best
about
movies
that's
astronauts,
ever.
just that's got just as much weirdness as this thing. There's a lot of mystical stuff and strange occurrences
Yeah,
happening.
but it
in that one.
works.
But
Is that the one-
all the characters are likable. Even
Well,
like
and also
you know,
the
that's the thing.
mysticism of that movie is you're going into space.
Yeah.
You're the
Right.
first
It-
people to
oh,
ever.
there's
Is
other
go
stuff
into
like
is
that.
OJ
space.
Simpson in that movie?
No,
no, you're
No.
thinking of Capricorn One.
Oh, Capricorn one.
That's a hell of a
that's
film.
crap. That's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Well,
crap movie,
I
but
haven't-
it's
I have-
it's
I
it's
haven't seen
It
entertaining.
is crappy.
I think I saw part of Capricorn one just because they showed it in high school. I've not seen either of them.
Oh, you
like,
watch
totally
Capricorn
though.
One now. When you're done, you feel like it only lasted 10 minutes. It's really
pretty
weird.
much.
Yeah.
Watch
Anyway,
Capricorn 1. You watch Capricorn 1 right now and you realize how many people on the internet think that's a fucking documentary.
So yeah, no shit. That's where it came from. Okay,
This
Jim.
is going to be the problem with AI, where like Tupac is talking to fucking Mr. Rogers. It's not
Yeah.
good.
Jim, take it.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say.
Something about the Bronx.
No, I was impressed that they can afford really cool jackets, but they can't afford decent football uniforms.
Yeah.
Mm.
Apparently,
anyway,
It's well shot.
apparently the Wanderers actually had a really good football team.
Yeah, that was one of the other things that happened back then.
My understanding, like I said, I think the book is a fairly sober telling of this particular tale, and you kind of wonder, like, I don't know, Scorsese would be the first thing I think of, but it's not really his deal. Like, if somebody though who would have taken this material seriously, maybe this
What
could
do
have
you
been
mean
a
that- what do
really
you mean
good
this
movie.
isn't Scorsese's
Oh,
deal?
that's a
This is
that's
happening.
a good.
No,
point,
because
Chris.
this is. I mean,
Kinda
This is happening-
is.
This is
I guess it
happening
kinda
across-
is.
This is happening across the fucking water from goddamn Goodfellas.
yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
pretty
it's
much.
happening. Yeah, you're right.
It's happening exact
No,
same
but
time.
that's a, but
yes.
that's a good point,
Right.
Chris. Like if Scorsese had tackled this material, this would have been realistic. You would have liked the characters. I mean, I think that is this thing is like half cartoon, half real, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I literally thought
Yeah.
about Goodfellas while I was watching this, and because I thought to myself,
Me too.
I hate this kind of 15-year
Like expansion of
well,
expand.
nostalgia.
Yeah,
No, this
expand
like
of-
15-year
15-year look
nostalgia.
back.
Again, short-term nostalgia.
Right. I hate this
Oh,
kind
right,
of
right, right.
15-year nostalgia, and I was thinking like, who does this well? And I went Scorsese. Scorsese does this well.
Right.
He does that kind of short-term, like, because what
Yeah,
he
there's been a
does is he
handful,
goes back
but
and he
it's
looks
not
at it
much.
with a critical eye.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Yeah, there's only been like a handful of them
Yeah.
that do it well.
Who's that, Jim?
yeah, it was. I was going to say Updike did it in a novel,
Mm.
Run Rabbit.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, sure. All right, good enough.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fun to revisit it, but it's like this one is like right here for me.
And he did it well.
I know. Again, this is I've seen this so many times. And went from here after the discussion. It kind of went down a couple notches.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like
here.
I'll tell you,
it happens
Everything
sometimes.
I liked, there was something that was not good at all.
this
Yeah,
movie,
I
the
had never
only thing
seen
I
it.
like, the only thing I like about this
Too
movie
much
was it
stuff.
reminded me like the gap of like, or just the like the progression of time.
That's right.
The like, oh, we got to leave this and we're going this way. But man, I couldn't stand this movie.